back to Whispers of the Dice. This is Whithering Heights, but where is everybody? Actually, this is a little bonus episode of it is Whispers of the Dice, of Whithering Heights, with just Josie and I, with just Venus and I. We're going to take a look at part of Venus's past that came to fruition at the end of Session 3. We're unsure if you're seeing this right after Session 3 or if this is coming out after the finale, but this is a little bit of a backstory of Venus in general, and specifically looking at her and Calla. So, our scene sets in, oh goodness, what year would it be? We are in alternate reality England. We are not in 1813 where the party takes place, but we would be, 32 years prior at least? We shift our view back to 1781 in our alternate reality, kind of plant aesthetic based England. We are 32 years prior to the events of Whithering Heights, and this is a Venus that has not yet even met Elias Ariok, who is now her husband. We find Venus Blythe, her childhood home, which later becomes her home as she takes over the mantle as being the Duchess. Would you describe this 20-something-year-old Venus for us?
Well, she looks a little bit different than you know her now. She's a little bit more carefree, but she still thinks very highly of herself and is very worried about what people think. But there is a lot of pressure on her, the only child of the Blythe family, to succeed. Marry rich, move up in the world, take on the new mantle. But she likes to dress herself in lighter colors, maybe some pastels. Tends to hang out with the ladies a little bit more. She enjoys the tea parties and the music nights that they have from time to time. And she's just currently at her family home, spending the company of her friends, enjoying the company of her friends.
Perfect. We see that a childhood friend of yours, Julia, is throwing just this cute little soiree, and you've offered up the Blythe residence for her to have this little get-together with some of the ladies. This isn't an official ball or anything. No one's promenading for suitors. But just some young ladies getting together for a little bit of tea and gossip and probably talking about their needlework or whatever it is, right? Give me a perception check.
Pretty good. I believe it's 22 if I remember my perception correctly. Let's go with that.
22. You see, there's several girls here that you know from, do you think that Venus went to any type of, finishing school, like an etiquette school, anything like that when she was younger?
I'm sure, especially given their title and the family background.
Yeah. You see some girls that you recognize from your couple years in all of your etiquette classes and that kind of thing. Several girls that grew up on the same street as you, mostly daughters of other lords and that kind of thing. You do notice a few people here that you don't necessarily recognize immediately. One of which being this girl, we're probably in late teens, early 20s at this point. She's on the shorter side, pale with these rosy, kind of flushed cheeks, blue eyes, blonde hair. And you notice this young woman, as you're kind of flitting about and talking to everyone, that this young woman is across the room from you, but kind of has been sneaking glances at you throughout the afternoon.
I think that she definitely takes notice at first, but doesn't really think much of it. She probably continues talking with her friends, especially Julia. She hasn't seen Julia in a while. But then she just kind of turns to Julia and she's like, I do not believe that I'm familiar with everyone here today. Did you invite a few people who I'm not yet acquainted with?
Oh, yes. Well, I believe you know Rosemary from school. Let's see, who else here might you not know? I believe you know Rosemary from school, but I don't know if... Oh, yes. The young woman over there in the orange, that's Calla. She's, I know her from a while back. Her father is somehow related to mine, and, although not by blood, I don't believe. I think they're old school friends or something. But she's from a fine family, of fine standing. And I don't know. I like her all right. When I was thinking of people to invite, I thought she could use the company. She's a bit odd. She's a bit queer.
Bit odd, you say? Poor thing.
It doesn't seem that she has many friends, especially not other suitable young ladies to spend her time with and to sort of learn from. So, I hope she's enjoying herself.
Well, I guess I have to go and introduce myself at some point, but first, pastries. And she kind of walks over to pastries, and she feels someone watching her. And I feel at this point, as she has her back turned, she's going to quickly message the woman she now knows is Calla. She says, "I see you watching me."
A response in your head in just a moment. Oh, my apologies. I meant no offense. That is, you were wearing a lovely gown.
She picks up a second pastry, probably something fruit-filled or whatever they enjoyed back then, and brings it over and sits down, and she says, "Venus, it's lovely to meet you."
And you say this out loud as you sit down across from her?
Yes.
She goes, "Calla, Pharrell, it's nice to meet you. Thank you for hosting this event. It is lovely."
Oh, please, Julia did all of the work. I just simply offered up the home. It would be nice to have some friends over, and I'm glad that you were able to come.
I'm sure the life of a duchess-to-be is full of many friends.
Oh, well, yes, and some people here and there, but you can always tell their intentions.
I suppose so. Of course. Incredibly nervous and incredibly awkward energy here.
Are you alright, darling?
Of course. Yes, of course. I'm perfectly fine. I believe it is just a bit chilly, perhaps. I am alright.
Well, the garden outside is quite nice. Would you like to go take a look if you haven't seen it yet?
Of course. Absolutely. Sure. Yes.
She starts to lead the way, and just kind of nods to Julia as she leaves the room, just to let her know they're heading out. You seem incredibly nervous, Calla, dear.
If I seem as such, it is simply a farce. I assure you. I'm perfectly content. Your home has been more than accommodating, and your staff are so nice. I just have never been in such weighty circles, I suppose.
Well, I can see how it can be a bit intimidating. I mean, so many lovely ladies around, and you're not quite sure how to speak to them.
Give me an insight check.
Mm, 16?
16. The slightest... A look that you can't quite put an adjective to, crosses Calla's face of like, what is she hinting at? Just a little bit of that kind of passing Calla's face. The gardens are lovely, as promised. Have you planted any violets? Or anything of that nature? I hear those, the blooms are quite lovely.
They are quite beautiful. I might say they're one of my favorite flowers. What about yourself?
Yes, I have found myself quite fond of violets for quite a while now. Although I did not anticipate you to enjoy them as well.
Well, it can be quite difficult for us ladies to find a nice batch of violets in this given time. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes. I suppose so. One would have to, interact with, artists or Frenchmen or whatever.
I think that as they start walking through the garden, she picks one of the flowers up and tucks it behind her ear, and she says, "There we go. I think it might bring out those beautiful eyes of yours."
Hi, Lady Blythe. Thank you. Thank you.
Are you doing all right? Would you like to go inside?
Not particularly.
Okay. And she leads her over to a bench in the garden so they can chat a little bit longer.
You're making me nervous. I don't flirt with women. This conversation kind of continues. Your euphemisms becoming more and more blatant as the two of you make it quite clear, without ever saying it, that you're both interested in women. And you see as you're talking, Calla kind of I've only ever known one other woman like yourself, and I've only heard legend of very few others. The work of Sappho's or other women of Greek origin are very common. But it seems as though nothing like that ever shows its head in England.
Yes, I guess so. But I personally like to think of it as our own little secret garden, I guess. It's just meant for two.
I would like that.
As would I.
We'll cut, then, to, let's say, a week later. Party ends. Your guests disperse, and you don't hear from Lady Farrell for a moment. Until, I suppose at this point, you still live with your parents. And you are sitting in the drawing room with your mother as someone comes in and says, pardon me, a visitor for Miss Blythe?
Assuming that it's probably for her mother,
Well, you would know. Lady Blythe would be your mother, and Miss Blythe would be you.
Oh, that makes sense. In that case, she sets down her drawing pencil and excuses herself and tells her mother goodbye and for a moment and heads off to see her visitor.
You're brought outside, and you see facing away from you this woman with a blonde updo, wearing kind of a pale yellow dress. Turns around and... Lady Blythe, how wonderful to see you.
Oh, is that you, Lady Farrell?
Yes, I suppose I was, in the neighborhood. And I was wondering if, well, my family has gone away for the weekend. They have made trip out to the countryside, and I decided I would abstain. Just awful allergies out, in with nature and things. And my house is quite empty, you understand. I was wondering if I might call upon your company this weekend.
It'll be just the two of us.
And my staff, but they are quite discreet.
Didn't think you would have it in you, Lady Farrell. I haven't heard from you for quite a while. I was worried I scared you off.
No. The matters of the home to deal with. But, I assure you at my first free moment, I found myself here.
Well, I would enjoy that.
Perfect.
If you would have me, of course.
I shall, send for a carriage.
Oh my gosh, I do feel like we're 13-year-old children.
Beautiful. We skip some travel as you both arrive at the Farrell household. And yes, it seems, other than a few help wandering about, it is just you and Calla. And you guys go into the drawing room here, find a seat on some of the couches, and she dismisses the staff that are present. And she says, well, I believe that is the full tour. The libraries are beautiful. It's my favorite part. Our garden is meager. It's not as beautiful as yours. But, yes, I suppose all that was abstained from the tour was my parents' bedroom, but...
Well, it is a lovely home.
Thank you. I have not had a visitor in, well, a long while, I suppose.
A lovely girl is yourself. You haven't had many visitors. Why?
It is, I suppose a bit painful to, spend too much time with other women, just sort of knowing.
I see.
And I could not spend time with men.
Well, you can always accompany me. We can go out and socialize and attend all these parties together, if you would so wish. I mean, I guess that would make it a little bit more bearable, would it not?
Or perhaps we could stay here.
Why, I guess that would be even better now, wouldn't it? She leans a little bit closer and she starts to take out her fan and starts fanning herself. She says, and just two lovely women in a room all by themselves. Kind of a waste of space not to do anything now, wouldn't it?
What would you do?
And she leans across the couch and she picks her chin up and kisses her on the lips.
Calm down. Calm down. Calm down. Calm down. Calm down. Pulls back from the kiss. Not like abrupt, but just like when it ends, pulls back from the kiss. Not giving you too much space. She goes, very scandalous indeed. And she kisses you again.
She accepts the kiss and brushes some hair back and tucks it behind her ear. And then she starts to lay her down on the couch and then...
What?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, my.
Why?
You kind of slowly push her down onto her back on the couch. And little verbal interaction needed. Corset strings are loosened. Maybe a travel up to the bedroom. Or maybe not. Wow. Wow. We cut to the end of 1782. You and Calla have been doing this for about a year. And seeing each other every chance you get. Your parents both think that you are fast friends. They're slightly concerned by, I don't know, they're always out promenading for suitors, but they never seem to come back with anything. What is, do you think, the defining moment when Venus realizes she probably needs a husband? What would make her realize, okay, in order to kind of keep my place in the ton and keep my status what it is and to not become a spinster or whatever, like what would have happened that would make her realize, oh, we're nearing the time?
One of her childhood friends gets married off, starts asking her, like, you know, have you met anyone? Do you need me to introduce you to anyone? I know a few, eligible bachelors. And it just started becoming more frequent. Like, her parents have always, like, had that in the back of her mind. Like, make sure you're, looking for suitors, an eligible young man.
Yeah.
But I think seeing her first friend married off, really opened her eyes to, this is the society you live in.
Yeah. So, you see this first friend get married. As you are leaving that wedding, you kind of have that thought of, oh God, I can't be a spinster. That is social ruin. I can't exactly, I'm not going to leave the canopy. I like it here. I'm not going to give up my place as a duchess. And you think it's probably time to go and talk to your father. You see, your dad, Lord Blythe, I'm not going to come up with a first name for him. Your father, Lord Blythe, is sitting in his study as you arrive home.
She just stands outside the door and knocks on the door frame. Father, are you busy?
No, darling, of course not. Come in.
She comes in and she just starts pacing the room. Back and forth and back and forth. I think it's about time that I found myself a suitor.
All right.
What are your thoughts?
Certainly. What, have you and Miss Farrell finally given up your childish dreams of running away on a ship together or whatever? I don't know, darling. I'm teasing, but no. If you are 20 years old, if you are ready, I would certainly say the time is appropriate. I mean, what do you want to open up cooling hours? Do you want me to talk with some people and see if I can find something?
Well, I think that you have much better chance at finding a lovely young man for me. I have not had much luck, unfortunately. I was thinking, though, I do have one suggestion. Possibly someone in the military. I mean, a war hero, just well respected. You know, just sounds like a goody man to me.
All right. Sure. I've plenty of connections from the military. I'm sure. You know, one young man does come to mind. His name is, he's untitled, but he is well off. He owns land. Elias Ariok, I'm not sure if you've heard of him. He's untitled, like I said, but he comes from good family. He is actively in the military, has just returned from a tour, and he's quite well respected within the Queen's Army, is my understanding. He is, I believe, good friends with the King, perhaps went to school with him or something. I can look into him more, but as far as I know, he has no debts. He's never hurt an animal or a woman. He's been kind enough when I've met with him. I could look into it further if you'd like me to. And he is still in the military, though, of course. That would be one downside, is he would probably be gone quite often, darling.
Oh, he would be. That's unfortunate. But it's for a good cause. I would think I would like to meet him.
All right. I will, I'll call for him. I'll send him a letter.
Thank you, Father. She turns down and she gives him a hug.
This is the best day of your dad's life. He's like, that went really well. Cool. Awesome. So, a few more days pass. Probably we're looking at a week or so. We're into the winter months of 1892. 1892. And is that what I said? That's not true.
No.
1872. Yeah. 1782, not 18. 1782.
Numbers are hard.
1892 would be crazy. It's 100.
I know. I was like, they jumped. They're old.
82. And Danica, if you're watching this, sorry, I'm gonna play your character. You see, you are your family meets with the Arioks in a park or something like this. And the introduction is made. Sir Ariok, this is my daughter, Miss Venus Blythe. The introduction is made, you both bow, and your parents kind of leave you to it as you both start to kind of promenade around the park here. And see, Sir Elias is, Miss Blythe, it is so wonderful to finally meet you. I received your father's letter and I was quite excited to make your acquaintance.
As was I. I've heard a lot about you from my father. He thinks very highly of you.
Your father is kind. Yes, I have come across him a few times in my time in the military. He is a good man, and you have a good family. And I was quite excited for the opportunity to meet with you and to court you and to talk about our potential future together.
Well, when I heard that you were available, I just couldn't help but think about getting to meet you. I mean, I've heard so many stories about you going off, and man, it just must be so interesting to see the world. And I mean, I know that it's for war and military reasons, but still must be rather exciting.
I am afraid I do not get to do much sightseeing on these trips. You are right, it is, as it is for the military, it is a bit drabber than one might hope for a holiday, but nonetheless, anything you would wish to know about my travels is yours. Yeah, see, like, you continue to walk here, getting to know each other, and Venus, he seems, nice enough, and you're kind of already thinking about what your life might look like and how it might change. With the status difference, he would be moving into your family home, or you guys could go live somewhere else until your parents passed away and then move into the Duchess's home, whatever. And you guys are just kind of talking, and you're kind of imagining what your life would look like, and you're, hearing about the fact, he's going on another tour in 6 months, and by summer of 1783, he will be gone again. And you're imagining a March wedding, like, all of these different things. A March wedding, and then the house back to yourself, and maybe even seeing Calla again by June, right? And as you finish up your walk, you see Elias takes your hand gloved, presses his lips to your knuckle, and he says, I have really enjoyed our time together. You are a wonderful, kind, intelligent young woman, and beautiful, I might say. And I don't mean to be too forward, but I would love to go further with this proposition that your father has given me, if you would be interested.
Well, you sure know how to flatter a woman. Not saying I don't mind, though. I quite enjoyed your company. I would love that. I will have to speak with my father as well.
Wonderful. Lady Blythe. Or Miss Blythe. And he turns. You keep seeing Elias a few more times as you're sort of courting, and also the time for the two sets of parents to kind of figure out all the details and whatever. Venus, you start to notice a few times in that this flattery at the end of your hanging out, at the end of your promenading, is it's continuing past when you've made it clear, like, okay, yeah, like, I get it, we're courting, to the point when a few weeks before what will become your wedding day, you are meant to go on a walk with Elias Ariok, and he doesn't show up, which is very unlike him. He's been very punctual, very engaged in all of your dates, to the point where deep down you're kind of worried he's falling in love with you. But yeah, he does not show up for your date this afternoon, or evening, I guess.
Yeah, she's a little surprised by this. It seemed to be going really well. She had already planned everything out ahead of time. She wants everything to go to plan, and if he does not show up to their appointed schedule, yikes.
Yeah.
So she's gonna go and look for him.
Yeah. You head out to, you know that he's been staying in, like, a small soldier's home type of deal, closer to the palace. And so you take your carriage and go to the very outskirts of the palace where these soldiers' homes are. And when you knock on the door, you hear clamoring, cups hitting each other, a arcane whir, and then Elias opens the door, and he's in not unnice but casual clothes, And what would you say as he opens the door?
Is everything all right? You seem to be in quite a rush.
And in a way he never has before, puts one hand on your waist, one hand on your face, and kisses you passionately.
She is surprised and not really what she's wanting. So she breaks from the kiss real quick and looks around to see if anyone is there to see and pushes him inside and closes the door. Well, I won't say I'm not rather surprised by this whole situation, but are you feeling all right? Is that why you missed our appointed walk together?
I was on my way. I apologize. We can... Oh, God. You see, he sits down on the edge of his little, twin-size, cot. And you're close enough that you're kind of within his arm's reach. And he takes you by the elbows and kind of gestures for you to step a little closer to him between his legs. And kind of pressing his forehead against your corset right here as you're standing there. He's just, I don't know what's overcome me. I'm a pious man of God. I cannot, but I find myself burning for you. I cannot imagine that I would be able to wait until wedding night.
She sets her hand on his head and kind of steps ever a half step back to give a little bit more space. It's well, you know that we cannot do that, right? Especially with you not feeling so unwell, that doesn't seem like a great idea. I mean, you're burning up.
Give me an Arcana check.
In her head, she's like, I am not sleeping with this man.
I am not.
Okay, Arcana check. It's not good. It's a 12.
And then also give me an investigation or perception.
Okay. Investigation or perception, you said?
Yep.
It's going to be 18 for perception.
18. So on the Arcana check, you can tell that he's clearly under some kind of magical effect. You can't tell what it is, and you can't really tell, did he do this to himself? Did somebody do this to him? Whatever. On your perception check, you can see two, what are they called? 2 pint glasses, each having ale in it, and the corner of a handkerchief with a tiny H embroidered on the corner. You are also able to see what you had already figured out and commented on. He looks quite flushed, and he looks quite overcome, as it were.
I think that she's going to separate herself from him for a second, go and take a look at the glasses, because her first thought is, what if he's poisoned?
Very good. Do you have any kind of spell that could detect poison or anything like that? Or we can also just say that 32 years ago she did.
Okay, so yeah, she yeah. She walks. Ah! Oh my god!
Me when I walk is.
She walks over to the 2 glasses, and she's going to try and cast Detect Magic on them.
You cast Detect Magic while he's on the other side of the room. No poison, just alcohol. But if you're casting Detect Magic maybe a little more generally, you can see there's an arcane sphere in one corner of the room, or an arcane eye, sorry, in one corner of the room, which someone would have had to be here to cast it, and then they can see what's happening in the room.
I think, seeing that out of the corner of her eye, she picks up one of the goblets and starts to walk over to Elias, and she's like, well, do you need something to drink? I mean, I could get you some more water or anything. And as she walks over, she's like, throws the goblet towards the corner of the room where the eye is, and she pretends that she stumbled. She's like, oh, I'm so sorry. Are you all right? I didn't hit you, did I?
No, it's quite all right. You see the arcane eye fizzles out. You can also, with this Detect Magic still up, you can see he's clearly cursed. Whatever has been cast on him is some kind of a curse.
Do you know who was in here with you? It seems like something ails you.
And the equivalent of, like, Elias making a save. He comes out and he goes, oh my god, he put a curse on me. I'm going to kill him.
He put a curse on you? Who?
I'm sorry, I'm talking nonsense. Forgive me. Shall we, if you allow me just a moment to finish getting dressed, we can go on our walk. I'm so sorry to have, I'm sorry that I kissed you. I'm sorry that this has happened the way it is.
Given everything that's been going on, and it's already been way more than she wants to deal with at the moment, she just sets down the wine glass again and takes a glance at the handkerchief and just kind of walks over and puts a hand on his shoulder and says, I don't expect you to tell me anything. I mean, we hardly know each other really at this point, but if this is going to work, we really need to let them go. You know that, right?
Yes. I suppose so. And your engagement to Elias had been finalized a few days before that scene. But you go on this walk with Elias. It's you've been engaged for a few days now. You talk idly. You try not to talk about what happened. And the next morning, you have a day planned with Calla. You spend the morning going on a walk through a beautiful nature path. You listen to some live music being played on a thistle stage, if you can believe it. Don't worry, we didn't get too close. And just kind of enjoying each other's company. You end up back at Calla's estate. And walking back through now, Calla's situation in the last year or so has become a little bit more dire. Her father passed away. And so she has not mentioned it to you, but by nature of how society works, you know that she will soon need to get married so that there will be a man to pass the estate to. Nothing of that has been mentioned yet. You guys are walking the grounds by yourself. No one else is home. Her mother is out.
I think that Venus kind of takes her arm. They're walking arm in arm. She says, well, it's been a wonderful day, but I couldn't help but get the sense that you're feeling a little blue.
I don't know. I suppose I do miss Daddy. He was a good man, all things considered. I suppose I know what is coming. But not yet, not today. I shan't ruin today with talk of those sorts of things, right?
Right. I think that she kind of pulls her over to a garden bench or some sort of seating they have out there, and just sits for a moment enjoying the last of the sun before it sets. Well, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to see you today. I don't want you to feel that I don't appreciate our time together, but I mean, we both have known since the moment that we've met that nothing can really come from this.
What are you saying?
I'm saying that don't wait for me. Do what you must. If you've got someone in the lineup, just find someone that you feel like you can get along with okay, and you can just live in peace and you don't need to worry about leaving me behind, because yes, in a way I had to already leave you behind.
To live in peace. That is funny. To say that I could live in peace. To say
It doesn't have to be all that bad.
To say that I must live in peace without you, that is what you mean.
How long did you think that we would be able to keep doing this? We're both reaching the age where our friends are getting married. I mean, Sarah, she just got married, and just, you know that my father, the way that he is, and the duty that I uphold, and the duty that you are about to need to uphold. I don't want to do this to us, but Calla, I'm engaged.
To Sir Ariok?
Yes, he's a reasonable man. He's kind, and his family is good, and he's away a lot of the time. I would be able to live life as I wish while he's away.
You would accept a proposal without talking to me first?
I'm thinking about us. Calla, with this, I don't want to do this to you anymore. We can't keep doing this to ourselves. Your mother, I can only imagine what she's like trying to get you to find a man in such a short amount of time.
And what? Your husband will be gone for months at a time, and you still do not wish to see me. You still do not wish to have me in your life. You still wish me to go and find a husband and uphold my honor and do all of these things without you. That is what you wish.
She takes her hand and brings it up to her face, Venus's face. Just please. This is already hot enough for me. I don't want to break your heart, but if I must break your heart to let you live your life, then I will.
She pulls her hand back. She says, Well, that much you have accomplished. I think it would be best if you left.
She gives one last glance at her and leaves behind a flower on the bench where she sat and looks over her shoulder, and she just says, I just want you to know I did always love you.
That is a cruel thing to say. Doesn't look back at you and walks further into her home. Venus and Elias get married. This was in December of 1782. They are married by March in 1783. And they become very good friends with the king and queen, who are married in June of 1783. They go on from there. They have 3 children. Their oldest, Nicholas, then Datura, who features in the main show, and Josephine a few years after that. They have all 3 kids within a very short, close together period of time. And so we skip to 7 years after they're wed, when the youngest Josephine has just been weaned. So Elias is away. Venus, you have very little reason to ever see your children anymore. They are off with nanny and governess and doing whatever it is children do. You spend many of your days alone in the house, thinking about the party you will throw when Elias returns, but you don't really want to invite many people into your empty home just to see just exactly how lonely it is. You are talking to Renee Beckwith, who works for your family, and kind of planning out the guest list for your next soiree. And you see she says, and Mum, I fetched the mail this morning. Did you intend to exclude your cousin from the invitation list?
My cousin, excuse her from the invitation list?
Yes, Mum. And, you've never heard... You haven't spoken to your cousin since you were children. You don't really know what she's talking about right now.
Is there some mail for me? What is it that you speak of?
Yes, Mom. There's a letter here. It says from Cousin Calla Farrell, addressed to you.
Well, thank you very much. I will keep a hold of that. Thank you.
Absolutely. And whenever Venus is able to open it, you see it is there is one pressed dried flower, and a little decorative card with crimped edges and everything, and in calligraphy it says a date from a few weeks ago, the wedding of Charles and Calla, new last name, whatever. It seems that Calla was married a few weeks ago.
I think that she holds on to this letter, stashes it away in her things. And then maybe a few days, maybe a week later, after she's had some time to think about it, and sitting alone again in the quiet house and no one really to talk to other than the staff, I think that she pulls back out that letter and writes to her dear cousin. Nothing much, just probably some casual chatter, wishing congratulations on the wedding, and I mean, they haven't seen each other or spoken in years, so it'd be really strange to continue on as if they were really close, so
yeah.
She just sends that off and tries not to think about it, but she finds herself waiting for the next letter to arrive.
You guys start kind of a pen pal thing. You guys start writing back and forth very casually, very friendly to catch up. Elias, when he's home, it's often enough that, like, during the stretches of time when he is home, has noticed and come to recognize cousin Calla and let you know that your cousin has written you again and all of these things. And you guys keep in touch on how her children are doing and how your children are doing and all of these things over the next many years, over the next 10 years or so, 10, 15 years. We won't try to replicate the beautiful scene that happened in Josie and Danica's Session 0, but 11 years before the start of games, so in 1802, Elias admitted to Venus over a candlelit dinner that he had had an affair with a woman overseas. He assures her it is over, and he just wanted to let her know that this had happened and all of these things. Venus did not care and didn't really say anything back to him. She didn't get too awfully emotional. He was quite angry that she was not very emotional. I'm telling you that I cheated on you, that I stepped outside of our marriage. Why do you not care? And Venus said, I don't know why I would care. I do not love you. I never have. All I do all day is eat fine food and wear pretty dresses and throw little parties while you get to go and see the world. There's nothing for me to say to this. I don't really care.
Do you want me to yell? Do you want me to scream? What? I can do those if you would wish.
What do you want me to do? Yell? Scream? Yeah. Oh, throw my food at you, perhaps? Yeah, it was very good. Wish it had been recorded. Very good. And shortly after this admission that Venus kind of takes as a green light, he doesn't respect me, I'll do what I wish. Edward announces his engagement, and his new wife, Eleanor, has requested...
Nicholas.
Her name is Eleanor, his new wife.
I know, but you said, I don't remember. I don't know what name you said, but it was not... You said a different name.
Oh. Your son, Nicholas, and his wife, Eleanor, are about to get married. Eleanor comes to you and asks if you will help with some of the arrangements for the wedding and getting everything set up and decorated and all this kind of things. So you've been helping with that. And when you're writing out invitations, you think, one invitation in particular that might be kind of fun.
Yeah, she's like, hasn't had fun in a while. She really misses Calla and hasn't seen her for, 20 years at this point? Man, a wedding is a wonderful excuse to invite your cousin over now, isn't it?
You send off this invitation to Calla. And you are, we flash forward a few months to, this is probably, I'm trying to think. This is probably 5 years before game starts-ish, I would say. So we're in the, not quite to 1810 yet. Your son's about to get married, and the day of the wedding comes. You are standing at kind of this entry foyer area, greeting family you have not seen in a while, and members of the Ton, and everybody as they are coming in, doing everything you can to make sure that your darling boy and Eleanor, who you've come to really love, have the perfect day. All things considered and all feelings aside for Elias, he has been an excellent father today, in general and today. And him and Nicholas, I don't know, got a whiskey neat this morning or whatever it is fathers and grooms do on the day of the wedding. And Datura's staying out of the way, thank God. He's helping himself to the libations and not making a fool of himself for the most part. And you're standing at the door, and you see almost near the end of the door's closing of the window to accept guests, you see a much older woman. Late 40s? Enter in, blonde hair up in this intricate updo, wearing a pale green gown. Step in, her gloved hands held here, looking around, eyes settling on you. What do you do?
I think that she, lets out a big sigh, one that she hasn't realized she was holding. And she knows exactly who she is looking at, no matter how much time has passed. This is the person that she's been writing to, the person that she still knows that she loves. She says, bids her goodbyes to the guests she was just speaking to, and excuses herself to go and greet her lovely Calla.
Venus, Lady Ariok. Venus.
How are you? I knew that we'd set up these plans to meet, but I must say I'm surprised that you came. I mean, I'm delighted that you did, but it's just been so long.
I was delighted to receive an invitation. And I am your cousin. Is that right?
Yes, I feel like it might be better that way. And Elias, he's dimwit and just doesn't even think twice about it, so.
You are beautiful.
Not nearly as gorgeous as you are. I must say, whenever the violets bloomed, I couldn't help but think of you, but you're more beautiful than I would have imagined.
Shall we?
We shall. She takes her by the arm and shows her on a casual view of the estate.
And our view ends as our camera pans behind the two young ladies with linked arms as she gives her a quick tour of the estate before the ceremony begins. And that is where we end our little backstory of Venus and Calla. What happens in the future? Josie and I don't know yet, because we play that in 3 hours.
Yeah, oh my gosh,
4
really,
hours.
already? Oh my gosh.
But yeah, we hope you enjoyed this little backstory of Venus and Calla. If you did, like, comment, subscribe. This video was sponsored by lesbians. And I guess. And
Sponsored by Violet Co. Do you want the best seeds in town? Oh, well, you're in luck. We have such a magnificent supply to choose from.
do you want
I'm sure
to
you'd find
secretly
just the
signal?
perfect one for you.
Do you want to secretly signal that you're a lesbian? Buy our seeds. Perfect. Yeah, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. If the finale's already out, go watch that too. I don't know what happens in it yet, but I'm sure it's wonderful. And yeah, bye.